extra. Yes, but I did get lots of help. Yes, I did. First of all, part of this talk is based on the material from the United States Spiritist Council, now called United States Spiritist Federation. So a part of it is based on it. And another part is based in one of the books of the Spiritist codification, one of the 5 books of the foundation of the Spiritist thought, which is the Gospel according to Spiritism. And you could say, well, why you're not going to be talking about the Spiritist, or better saying, the Medium's book? Of course we will. But there is a very, very interesting chapter in the Gospel according to Spiritism that it was going to tie it up perfectly with the topic on hand. So the very first idea here is to make a would-be Q&A between you and I. Outside in the lobby, we have a little box with an idea that one of our friends gave to us in terms of questions that you might have in addition to the ones we have here. So you can write your question, put it in the box, and eventually we will be able to answer to you, either by email if you like, or text if you prefer, or maybe next lecture. So that's the idea, to make something very interactive, because some people do have questions. They don't want to live their hands in the middle of a lot of people. So feel free to write down if you like. The format of these public meetings are kind of tight in terms of time, but we do have study groups here in our center. We are about to start one in the very end of this month on Tuesdays. But currently we have one at 6:30 every Wednesday. So in terms of carrying this further, the idea is for you to participate in one of our study groups. Already? So let's see what we have. The very first question, of course, for those who are new to Spiritism, is in regards to what a medium actually is. So in terms of Spiritist information, a medium is basically a channel, an intermediary between the spiritual world and the material world. But we can go further. And we can say that anybody who possesses any ability to perceive the spiritual world can be considered a medium. So do you sense the presence of people around you from time to time? Do you perceive thoughts that comes to your mind very often? Can you sense the energy of places when we get in different? Can you sense the energy of the room when you go to different places? So if you have this perception, this sense of invisible energies, of invisible entities, we can consider you a medium. But in terms of Spiritism per se, we like to say that you're truly a medium. That if you have already developed this level of awareness of the spiritual world, we like to say that we like to call a medium somebody who truly has what we call an ostensive ability, a very perceivable ability, a very careful ability of the perception of the spirit world. So in one way, because anybody, or better saying, most people can sense some inspirations from time to time, can remember seeing spirits during sleep. So we can say that most of us can be considered a medium, but in terms of spiritism per se, we like to say that a medium is somebody who has an ostensive ability, very conscious ability of perceiving the spirit world. So what? Okay, now we go. So how does awareness occur? We can say the world, the spirit world, better saying, is a series of dimensions, different vibrations, dimensions in different vibrations. And the medium has the ability to tune in these different dimensions. Like a radio, you know, like a very simple example, you tune in AM, FM, or satellite. So you have the ability to tune in different vibrations. So this spirit world is a series of dimensions existing vibrational states that are different from those of our material world. So a medium is like a radio that can be tuned in into different radio frequencies in many dimensions under certain circumstances. Why are some people more in tune to the spirit world than others? This is an interesting question. So we can say that mediumship is truly a matter of choice. In order to speed up one's evolutionary process, the person may be required to choose or to accept to reincarnate with the ability to become a medium. What does it mean? Why some people can get in tune better than others? Because before you came to this life, the same way when we go to college, we usually speak to an advisor before starting getting all our courses put together. So before we come to this life, we speak to very wise advisors in the spirit world that will give us some hints with a better pathway toward of our evolution. So they are the ones who help us to put together our program, our course program in this very life. And some of us get a course on mediumship. They might suggest, well, you can speed up your evolution if you do incarnate as a medium. Say, what? I'm going to speed up my evolution? Yes, because with mediumship comes many challenges. You have an extra sensitivity for everything. You sense the energy of people, and that can be really good if they are wonderful, but you also can bear the burden of being around people at work or at home that can be not in a very, let's say, can be not very balanced, and that can affect you tremendously. Besides, the medium per se has lots of issues from his or her past. And mediumship can be a tool of self-betterment. As we are extremely sensitive to other people's needs, we are always walking our toes. And this is only a few examples how mediumship can be a major challenge. Not to talk about the spiritual influences. If you sense other people, incarnated people, as a medium, you can super sense the presence of spirits. And we live in a very difficult world still. Getting better, although media can portray so many bad things nowadays more than ever, But we do live in a better world than a few centuries ago. But these are times of transition, and that are more unbalanced and not really good spirits around this world than good ones. Just for the fact that are more not balanced and not very good people incarnated in this world. So around this planet, around the city, around this country, around everywhere, there are more unbalanced and not good spirits than good ones. So, well, what are the good ones then? The ones that will always be there for us when we tune in with them. So, tune in with good or not to good spirits is just as easy as turn a light on and off. It's just as fast. Your thought and mind is extremely fast. So you can tune in with your mentor, your spirit mentor, your guardian angel, the spirits of an extremely high dimension, just by thinking, but also by feeling. With our emotions, lusts of energies get in motion. So depending how you feel, how you react, you will tune in with good spirits, balanced spirits, great spirits, uplifting spirits, or with a bunch of suffering spirits who is going to put you in a bad mood as soon as you get out of bed. It's up to you. And it's not easy, because you already carry that extra sensitivity. You're already very sensitive persons for every single issue. And let's say you are going through a difficult phase in your life that is going to be easier for you. You're going to be more prone to get in tune with suffering spirits, depressed spirits, bad spirits, revengeful spirits than good ones. So what do? You start exercising, like our friend just said in this message, just suggested, little by little. We're not going to get better emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of a sudden. We have been carrying a way of being and feeling and living for many centuries. We are accustomed to live and to feel in certain ways. Now, all of a sudden, you start getting contact with different philosophies, uplifting philosophies. There are so many good stuff out there. And, Spiritism is so logic, so rational, that you say, wow, this makes so much sense and it's so beautiful. I'm coming to the center and I'm feeling so good. So you start coming to the center, and you start listening to these messages, reading the books, and say, wow, what a world. I want a little bit of this into my life. As a matter of fact, I want everything. And you start getting into a different type of problem. You're becoming anxious to become a good person. It's an uneasy thing. So it's like, don't you think it's enough? Don't we have enough anxiety out there? Now we need to add another one. Oh my God, look at what I am. Oh, look at where I am. Look at the state of my evolution. Oh, there is so much that I still need to accomplish in this very life. Oh, I want to grow. Oh, okay, so let me visit the doctor to give him some anti-anxiety medication because I want to be good now. This is a new anxiety to our life. Do we need this? No, we don't. So calm down. Take it easy. We have been being like this for so long. Nobody changed all of a sudden. It might take several lives for you to start reacting in a different way. Imagine be and feel in a different way. I still feel like strangling my husband once in a while. Oh, if this is being recorded, please edit. But I don't. Just kidding. I have a wonderful husband. That drives me crazy once in a while, but he's wonderful. Yes, he is. I just want to joke a little bit, but I'm just saying an example, just as an example. I feel like doing some things, saying some things, I do control myself most of the times nowadays. And you do too. If you want to save that relationship. If you care for that relationship, you control. You don't want to hurt that person. So you bite your tongue because that person is more important, that relationship is more important than what you have to say at that moment. You might even feel different in another 2 hours. Why can't you hold your tongue? Just hold it. Just go get some water. Put the water in your mouth and say, until you don't feel like saying anything else to hurt that person. Remember, when the words come out of your mouth, they are not yours anymore. That person is going to do whatever he or she can do with your words. So be careful with what you say to others, to your children, to your parents, to your husband, to your wife, to your partner, to your friend. Oh, Livia, this is about mediumship. Yeah, let's go back to things. No. Because this is about evolution. So the question is mediumship a tool to help us progress? Yes. And because it's not easy to evolve, we got to be patient, and use patience as a tool to help us to start using all these abilities to perceive the spirit world and other people in order to help them and ourselves. Does being an active medium mean I am more evolved? Those who are not? This is a very common question. And those who are mediums, ostensive mediums, they sometimes, not always, they tend to carry some very strange type of pride. And they tend to consider, some of them, they tend to consider themselves more evolved because of this extra sensitivity. We all have 5 senses. The medium does have 6, to say the least. So the person does consider, I don't know why, but they consider because of this ability, they are superior. But the question coming from the mentors are the most interesting and amazing for some, because they say, certainly, being an active medium means that after a long period of time, during which that person has developed the ability of mediumship, that ability is more evolved because it has been better exercised. But if the phrase more evolved means that you are ethically, morally more developed, the answer is definitely no. Anyone from the most ethical, this is interesting, from the most ethical to the most unethical person can develop the ability of mediumship. So actually, being a medium is independent of your moral involvement. So, oh, but how come can possibly God give you an ability like this to bad people? But the ability of mediumship is something actually very, very much physical. You are born with that ability. You are wired to this level of sensitivity. It's just as an ability as you are able to see, speak, hear, feel, taste, walk. Some do have the ability to dance, others to play the piano, although we all can use our hands if we are able to do that. So mediumship is just a netted ability as a tool that God gives to us, as a tool of evolvement. Like your sight can be used as a tool of evolvement. Like your hands, your ability to speak can be used as a tool of evolvement. So many of us, not even you, have used our brains well in past lives. Some of us have used our intelligence to harm others. And we might have requested in the spirit world to come with difficult disabilities. We might even come completely disabled mentally. These are, for us, looking at from our point of view, from the material point of view, you say, oh my God, who can possibly can request to come mentally disabled? But yes, you can. In the spirit world, when you perceive and you see what you have done with your intelligence and how much this is blocking your evolution, you do request the ability to refrain from using your intelligence in a good way. And we see from time to time terrible things happening. In the 60s, we have a drug. I'm not very sure how to pronounce this in English, but I would say that it's probably thalidomide, which was a drug given to mothers to prevent nausea during pregnancy. And because of that drug, a huge amount of children were born with very, very severe birth defects. We came to know later on, and that those children at that time were, many of them were spirits of German Nazi who were born, German, from the Nazi, right?
Nazi.
No.
Nazi.
The Nazis, many of them. Now we have this epidemic that hundreds of children have been born with birth defects from the Zika virus. So from time to time we have this kind of thing, unfortunately, but true. If mediumship has nothing to do with a person's spiritual or ethical evolution, then why is the ability part of our overall evolution? We are all involved in the process of developing mediumistic abilities because it is a vital tool for learning and for making amendments of our path. And we have explained this a little bit in the beginning of our lecture. What do you mean, better saying, when you say that mediumship is a tool for learning? Well, we can learn much better about ourselves because our level of perception is tremendous. And you will learn how you react to people's energies, to the influence of spirits. We can learn about the spirit world, how it works, all the nature of the spirit world better than anybody else. So if you're speaking to somebody who has no belief in the spiritual world, in the afterlife, you as a medium because you have seen, you have heard, you have sensed the spirit world more than anybody else. So if the person doesn't believe because has not studied or researched it, or most important, has not sensed the spirit world, The person can say whatever he or she wants. You know, because you feel and you see, you have seen the spirit world. So it doesn't matter what others people say. You do respect how they think and what they think. You just know because you have experienced this spirit world like anybody else. And there's another incredible thing, is that we have learned there are consequences in the ethical level of our actions in this very world of ours. But so many times we see very unethical people doing so well, right? And living this world in the climax of success. So you look at these people saying, what is the justice of God to allow this person, who I know is unethical, who is corrupted, being so successful in living this world just as well as any good person would? It seems like nothing has happened to that person. But wait until he or she gets into the spirit world. Because if we can wear masks, those do not exist there. So if we can live around in amongst good people and not so good people, in the spirit world, this story is different. You will be living in dimensions that will be proportionally equivalent to your level of evolution. So if you're a good guy, you don't need to worry about anything because you're going to be around good people, good spirits in the spirit world. And if you're not that good, you have time to become one. But anyways, I see that was so intense that even the thing came out. What's going to happen? Okay, number 7 is the emotion, right? Yeah. Are you saying that there is a right and a wrong way of using mediumship? And that we learn from using it, not only correctly, but also incorrectly? The answer is what? What do you think? It's probably yes, right? Exactly. The right way of using mediumship is based on the same reasonable standard as making any other ethical choice. If you misuse your mediumship, if you exploit your mediumship, or if you use to cause harm to others, voodoo and the like, for self-indulgence, exploitation, or manipulation, you're going to be misusing your mediumship. And the contrary also true, because when you use it correctly, you use to help others, to bring enlightenment, and give selflessly without any personal gain. Ooh, giving mediumship, using my mediumship with no personal gain? What are you talking about? How about my time? I'm using my time, giving my time to others. My time is valuable. I'm not going to gain anything with it. Can't I profit? Is that unethical? Those are good questions too, and we will answer in a few. I have 35 slides to use. I do, but I'm not going to use them. We're going to stop on question number 13. If I understood rightly, did you say that mediumship cannot be used for any personal gain? What do you think? You can use your mediumship how you like it, right? In whatever way you wish. We all have freedom of choice, freedom of will. But ideally, this ability does the most good when profit, greed, and selfishness do not interfere with the process of helping others. This makes no sense. Some might say, how it can be wrong to make money from my mediumship when I have every right to make a living from all my abilities? This is a great question. Great question. Again, you are free to take any path you wish in life. Right or not? Right or wrong? Of course we are. We are free to do that. But just because you can do something does not mean that you should. When using your ability for unselfish good, you find opportunities for making a living in other ways not related to your mediumship. And we'll elaborate further on that. But if you seek wealth and power, then the fastest way to those goals will be using your mediumship for profit and not exploitation. However, which is not anybody's case here, of course. However, every action has a consequence. And the use of mediumship for exploitation and personal gain will have equally negative consequences. In question number 5, you said that mediumship is also a tool for making amendments for past errors. Can you explain? I have already done that, but let's make an extra point. A vital part of our long-term ethical evolution involves making amendments for our past errors. Once we reach a point in our learning process in which we become aware that a particular action is wrong, the time then comes for us to make up for all the times in our past incarnations when we took the wrong course of action and harm others. So, in other words, mediumship is an opportunity that you and I can use to help others, to make up for errors, to make up for the time we have not used our time in the best way possible. So you end up using your time freely because you can erase some usage of your time in really not really good ways. There are many ways to go around making amends for our past errors. Using mediumship is just one of them. And we did mention in the beginning that mediumship can be a burden. Yes, it can. Just like everything else can be also challenging. It can be a burden because it's difficult, like we said, but the reward is so further greater. It's so good. It's so beautiful. There are so much you can do with it that if it is sometimes can be difficult, sometimes it's a burden, it's just a little bit compared to all the goodness you can do with your mediumship. For the medium who choose to use their gift unselfishly, the rewards are far many. Helping others, being a messenger through whom enlightened spirits communicate, brings a level of happiness and personal satisfaction that goes truly beyond words. We have a meeting every Thursday, right after this meeting here. It's called this obsession meeting. And it's strong, it's difficult, it's heavy, but you have the opportunity to talk to spirits that they're misguided and might be interfering in other people's lives tremendously, affecting their well-being, their ability to think and feel for the better, even their physical health. So through mediumship, you do have the ability to speak to spirits and try to counsel them. This will be always their choice. But is there, for example, an opportunity to use your mediumship to help others? And that can be a burden, my friends, because to channel a spirit that is not enlightened, it's heavy as lead. It can be very difficult. But in the end of the meeting, when we feel that we are able to help others in the spirit world, when you hear from people who are being affected by their influence, feeling better, renewed, more positive, because they are detached from these people's influence, is a reward. There is no money. No money in the world can pay for it. We are very close to end, because our time is almost up. So, the way you use your mediumship influence the kinds of spirits who communicate through you, of course, right? It's obvious. In life, the way you conduct yourself and treat others will directly determine the kinds of people who are attracted to you. And the kinds of people who are what? Repulsed by you. So if you don't use your mediumship for the benefit of others, who are the spirits who will be around you? Who do you think? What is the logic makes you think? If you're using your mediumship to make a profit, trying to rationalize that option because you need to make a living, what is the kind of spirit that will be around you? Somebody who thinks just like you. Or are you thinking enlightened, wonderful, selfless spirits will be around you? And finally, so the way you use your mediumship influence the kind of spirits, as a medium who strives to live an ethical life will attract helpful and wise spirits. Let's have a talk on free mediumship in 3 minutes. Why Spiritism recommends that we use the ability to communicate with the spirit world freely? First, because it's in the Gospels. Mediumship is a gift you're born with. You have not acquired this gift. So if you have received freely, that's the way you should give away. And this is a basic, gospel message. So it is a spiritual gift. This is the main ethical point about mediumship. This gift consists in the ability to serve as an interpreter, as a channel to the spirits who come to impart teachings, to lead people to the pathway of goodness and nourish their faith, their hope. So, it isn't right to charge for this gift, because the message that the medium conveys is not his or hers. Hello? It's not your message. It's the Spirit's. How are you going to charge for something that actually the Spirit is not getting? Oh, because I'm using my time? So let's see. Let's hear further. People who understand the conditions which good spirits communicate, who recognize the disgust these spirits feel when confronted by anything that smacks of self-interest, and who know how little it takes to drive these spirits away, can never accept the idea that superior spirits are the beck and call of the first person who comes along, and so much procession claims contact with them. Claims, because maybe they are contacting them. Simply good sense rejects this notion. And there are other practical points, and this is my last comment tonight. We talk about some ethical points on giving, of using your mediumship freely. But there is other points that are actually a practical nature because of the nature of the gift. So, as a profession, we say, what is your profession? You say, I'm a medium. Are you really? Okay. Well, that carries little credibility because it can be perceived as a fortune-telling thing. But there are more important things to be concerned with. Mediumship as a gift is unstable, number one, is elusive, number two, and is changeable, number three. No one can count on mediumship as something permanent because you can lose your mediumship. If you become a teacher, if you become a carpenter, you don't lose the ability of using your knowledge as a profession, but your mediumship because it's a gift, you can lose your mediumship. As an exploitable resource in the best understanding of the word, as a profit, as a way of making a living, is highly uncertain. You might have a, what they call, when people come to your clients. You might have a session with one client, several clients, and how about if the spirits don't show up? They might, right? They have free will. They are no robots. So that's why so many people end up seeing mediums as charlatans. Because if you are paying, let's say I'm a medium, I'm charging you for this session, and the spirits don't show up. You're paying me. I want to get my money. I'm not going to tell you. You know, the spirits are not here. Say, come on, I came here with me. I drove here. I'm paying you. Credit card, went to it. So the spirits can not be there. So it's not a talent that you can acquire. It's not an ability that you can acquire through study and work. It's not an art. It's not a skill. And no one should consider, for that reason, a professional activity. And most important, mediumship exists only to the extent that the spirits are willing to cooperate with the medium. No medium can guarantee that he or she will be able to produce a spiritual phenomenon. No medium can guarantee. How can you make a living of something that you cannot guarantee? How can you possibly make a living? It's not even logical, not to say smart. So I hope those questions can help you a little bit in terms of understanding how Spiritism sees mediumship. And I wish you all a wonderful week. Don't make me work more and further for next week, because I have something else in mind. I do have more questions, and of course we can go on with these questions from time to time. Thank you so much.